I love it. I think I find you interesting, and when they approach to have you on the show, I've been a fan for a while because I think your journey, there's some similarities between you and I. What I find interesting is, I'm sure when you did you dropped out of college to do, the MTV shows, I don't know if you thought you'd be to this level, right? Like this WWE superstar. And then you had that alternate kind of persona on there where you call yourself The Miz. And at first everyone's like, whatever, that's fun, but where's this going to go? And this is where it led to. And I'm sure for you, we have a mutual friend in Theo Von. Theo's one of my best friends. And Theo's one of the top comics in the world now. I don't know if you keep up with Theo Von, but literally one of the top.
Oh, I keep up with Theo.
Yeah.
He is fantastic and incredible. So I'll give you a backstory on Theo. For anyone that doesn't know who Theo Von is, he was first on Road Rules about 20 years ago, which was a reality show that was very wildly popular. And I remember going on a challenge, which is a sister show of Road Rules and Real World. They come together for the challenge. It's a huge show, even right now on MTV. So we went on that show together. And I remember Theo telling me, I was like, I want to be a WWE superstar. He's like, well, I want to be a stand-up comic. And I remember him going to the front of the bus when we were on the way to go to the challenge. There's 30 of us on there. Not many people know each other, but I knew Theo from earlier. And he got up on the microphone and started telling his jokes. And everyone was crying, laughing. And this is him just beginning.
Yeah.
This is his first start. Like, this is his first routine that he had. And it was, God, I can't remember the jokes, but it was like, remember when the telephone companies had like dial down the middle?
Yeah.
And 1-800 dial down the middle. And it's like, and he would make up these entire jokes about the telephone companies. Like, that's how long ago that was. And so now, cut to maybe 15 years later, I'm at the Improv and I'm taking my wife to go out on a night on the town. And we go to the Improv. I'm there, have no idea who's playing, who's going to be, performing that night. And the main event is Theo Von. And I had no idea. And I was like, oh my God, like, I know this guy. This is incredible. And then when I watched him perform, it was almost an emotion came over me of how proud I was of him, of where he came from. When he told me, I want to be a stand-up comic, to the level of comedy that he was displaying, like he was like by far the best performer there that night. And I was like, this guy is ready for the main stage. So afterwards I texted him and said, oh my God, I'm in the crowd. How amazing. That was in, so we sat up and he said, I have a stand-up special coming up on Netflix. And then I watched the stand-up special and I was like, this guy, my God, he had a dream. He had a desire. He figured out all the tools that he needed that was necessary to become the artist he is. And now there he is at the top of his game, one of the best comedians out there in my mind, my favorite. And it just goes to show that hard work, determination, and a goal. When you have something and you said, I'm going to go for it. That's what I did. I said, I'm going to gain all these tools that I need to become a WWE superstar. And that's where my mind is. That's where I'm set up and I'm going to do it. Yeah. And it just goes to show, even if you're on a reality show, you still can do it. Correct. Even though a lot of times people look at reality shows and go, whatever, you're no talent hacks. Just live your life on TV. But, some people have proved them wrong.
Yeah, you and Theo are the example of that. When I text Theo you're coming on the show, he said, I love that dude. He saved my life one time from some house. He goes, I absolutely love The Miz. And with Theo, he's going to hate me even talking about this, but fuck it. He doesn't talk a lot about his MTV days. He doesn't like to address it, stuff like that, because he's in such a different lane now, and he's known for that. He doesn't like to ever look back in the past. Did you feel like it was hard for you to shed that label with the MTV and the reality show, stuff like that? Like, did people take you serious?
There. Like, there was a time in my career. So the reason where he is saying, and I think I understand where Theo is coming from. So back in the day when we were on reality shows, there was only a couple available, like Real World, Road Rules, Big Brother, Survivor. There was a handful of them. Now it's a dime a dozen.
Yep.
Hell, Instagram's a reality show if you want. TikTok's is a reality show if you want. But back then, back when we were on, we couldn't get into a room to audition for anything.
Yeah.
They looked at us as no talent hacks, and that we were just on a reality show, and that's all we could do is just be on a reality show, and we couldn't do anything else, and we would never amount to anything. So when you're putting in the passion, and trust me, I have never said a bad thing about what is MTV or Buena-Murray, because I've always been very grateful for being on The Real World, for being on the challenges, because it set me up and it gave me a whole different mind frame that if I believe in myself, that I could do something, I could pursue something different than what was supposed to happen. And in where I was from, Parma, Ohio, you were supposed to go to college. After college, you go back to Parma, Ohio. After you go to Parma, Ohio, you get a family, you get a job, and that's what you do for the rest of your life. But being on The Real World, it set me off and said, I could be a WWE superstar, even though they're 6'7", full of muscle and charisma and they're larger than life. I could do this if I set my mind to it. And so where I think I have been able to say, you know what, screw it. I don't care what anyone else thinks of, if I'm on a reality show or not. Like, there's paths. And nowadays I say, do it all.
Yep.
Like, my agent will ask me, like, what do you want? And I go, I want it all. And he goes, what do you mean by that? I want reality. I want hosting. I want movies. I want WWE. I want it all. Everything. Give it to me. Because I want to show that I have the talent in whatever I'm doing to be able to succeed at it. And so give it to me. And so now my agent has done a tremendous job in getting me all these different things and all these different opportunities. Like, I get to do Ms. and Mrs., which is our reality show about my family inside the life of, like, what it is like to be a WWE superstar and be a dad of 2 beautiful daughters and be a husband to a wife who's also in WWE. And we made a comedy show. Like, literally, I look at our show, it's a reality show. It's based on us, absolutely. But I look at it like The Office. I look at it like Curb Your Enthusiasm, like Seinfeld. And people are like, oh my God, you're looking at it like the greatest show ever? Yeah, I am. Yep. And I'm proud of it. Yep. Well, and it's a show that I think people will watch with their families and go and laugh and enjoy. And, with WWE, I'm doing the best work I think I've ever done in WWE, because now I have a mindset that I can do anything. I can do it all. And I'm not going to sit there and say, I'm not going to choose this lane. Like, they asked me to do the Challenge All-Stars, and I won't do a challenge again because I don't want the drama, but I wouldn't mind hosting it or doing a guest host spot, because I always want to pay tribute to where I started and who gave me my opportunity. And that is MTV and Buena-Murray and The Real World.
Good for you.
Well, when I always think about you, like, even from those, earlier days, I think everything you've always done has just been so authentic. And it seems like, when you transitioned from MTV to WWE, like, I never saw it as like this weird thing. Like, what the hell is he doing? He's this guy from, Real World or whatever. Why is he trying to do wrestling? I always thought it was like, oh, fuck yeah, he's doing it. And it just seems like you've always just been authentic and true to like you've been saying, like, yeah, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it. So I think it's been cool
and not apologizing for it either.
Yeah.
Just doing exactly what I want to do. Correct. Because I believe what I'm doing could make a difference in something. Like, as stupid as a reality show is, like, it's a reality show about something, but guess what? There's meaning. There's issues that we tackle that I think a lot of families are dealing with, that sometimes, especially in a time like we are right now with all the drama in the world, I think it's I think it goes to show that we need things on TV that literally you can just set all the pressures that you're having with your day, sit down with your family and just laugh and relax and enjoy. And I think we need that in television.
Well, just looking at the result of everything you do, like, it's like this guy really does believe it. Like, he really does feel it. And that's, and I don't know, I just think that's, like, cool, because, like, you could have easily not, most people wouldn't be able to transition from the MTV reality world and be able to jump to something that they really want to do.
To that point too, I think, Miz, is like, I'm sure when you told your family and friends you're going to going to the WWE, and I'm sure fans that were around then were like, dude, what are you doing? That's stupid. Because I think for a lot of people, like, you switching lanes for them doesn't make sense. Like, no, those guys have been wrestling since they were kids. So I think for a lot of them, like, you always say stay in your lane. It's like, well, no, I like a bunch of lanes, man. You're pushing that agenda on me. I don't want to be in that lane. I want to be in this lane, this lane, and this lane.
Everyone's always going to tell you can't do something. Yeah. And the reason they sometimes tell you that is because they can't do it. And they can't see themselves doing it. Doesn't mean that you have to listen to that person. As a matter of fact, I listen to those people, I hear them, and I use it as fuel for my fire to say, hey, I want to prove them wrong. But not only do I want to prove them wrong, I want to make sure that they know that when I succeed at it, if they have a dream, they can do it as well.
Yeah.
And so, and maybe they'll turn that negativity into positivity. And that's where I stem everything in my life from, is like, I try to generate positive. And people are like, but you're a villain on TV. It's like, yeah, but I'm a villain who, when the good guy beats me, everyone celebrates and everybody is happy. And it always has it coming. I know, in WWE, the villain's going to have it coming.
Yep. Sometime
or another, someone's going to give it to him. And you're going to have a reaction, a celebration. Like, the coolest thing you can have as a WWE superstar is when you have a title. I just had the WWE Championship, the most coveted title in all of WWE. I had it for 8 days. I went up against Bobby Lashley.
That's my guy.
Right now is on fire.
That's my how big of a freak is Bobby Lashley?
Oh my God!
I used to train with Bobby. And he has legit, like, credential wrestling background in the military. And when we would wrestle, I never saw him get taken down once, ever in training, ever.
Upon muscle. Like, he has a six-pack, and then he has a six-pack on top of that six-pack. That's how jacked and big this guy is. But not only that, Bobby Lashley is a very hard worker, very dedicated to the craft, and he's never held the WWE Championship, even though everyone's always known he's going to get it sometime or another. And then he went away from WWE, and then he came back, and he set the world on fire. And when I lost the WWE Championship, even though we were two bad guys, people were celebrating Bobby Lashley's reign as a WWE Championship for the first time. I remember going backstage in Gorilla and everyone applauding and literally saying, congratulations, you deserve it. And to me, I was proud, because I was like, wow, like, we did that in a matter of 8 days.
Yep.
We built this program where people were really looking at it. And then here's the repercussions. Everyone's like, oh, you only had it for 8 days. Oh, you only had it for 8 days. Yeah. Anytime you have the WWE Championship, if it's for 8 days, if it's for a day, if it's for a minute, if it's for a second, you are the WWE champion. Correct. And you will always have that.
Yep.
So 8 days, as long as you do what is necessary for the company and WWE to succeed, to build another superstar, which we did. We built Bobby Lashley into this huge monster, and now he has a huge match against Drew McIntyre, who, by the way, throughout the entire pandemic with no fans, only virtual fans, which WWE has done a tremendous job of, has been able to carry the WWE Championship for most of that. And has done a terrific. So these two titans are going to go head to head at WrestleMania. And I was able to be a part of that story to build these two characters to where they are going in a primetime main event WrestleMania caliber match. So I'm proud of the work that I've done, and I hope that they are proud of the work that they're done, because I can't wait to see the match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Out of all the major sports leagues, the only ones who really did it right and had success during the pandemic was the WWE and the UFC.
WWE has done a tremendous job in making sure that each and every week, the fans have something live to watch. When baseball was gone, NBA was gone, football was gone, all sports were gone, we were still there trying to entertain an audience, because in the most critical time that they need it.
Yes.
And I felt safe doing it.
Yep. Respect, man. Well, Miz, I've wanted you on the show for a while, man. Like I said, I'm a big fan. You're a motivational guy, and it's hard to get me motivated, man. Not a lot of people motivate me.
I love your story, man. I really do.
You make me want to start
Thank
a
you
big.
guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to have me on your show.
Yeah.
It's an honor and a privilege. So keep up the good work. And please, if you talk to Theo before I do, tell him I said hello and that we talked great things about him. Because
man.
He truly is one of those people that I don't think sometimes he gets enough credit.
Yeah, he's a special guy.
One of the best stand-ups out there.
Agree, man. Well, appreciate you, Miz. Good luck April 10th and 11th.
Good luck, brother.
No need for luck when you're this good, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Buddy's gonna get hot.
All right, brother. Have a good one, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
How about when I got off stage at the Laugh Factory? Right away, you go, bro, I figure out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is from a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
You do. Look, bro, look.